Viking Nerds! This is TJ Fowler for Skullbanger Media, and I am here today to review a special board game that I think heavy metalers, drinkers, and sports fans alike will really enjoy. It is called Don't Fall in the Mead Hall by Viking Nerds. And me being in Finland around a bunch of drinkers, this game should be a hit. Also, if you are a fan of just beer and pretzel type games, this should be a hit. But before I give my final impressions on the game, I'm going to go over a little bit about how the game operates. Very simple, very fun, and I believe everyone will enjoy. That being said, let's get to the game review. Okay, folks, so this is the game setup. Now, the shield is not part of the game board. I put that in here to give a little bit of an extra flair to my review, what little flair I've got. However, the basic game setup is that you have 4 tables that represent each table of the Vikings in the game for 2 to 4 players. Now, you can play this however you want to. I suppose you can play it by yourself and just play all 4 tables or whatever. But of course, this is a party game, so 4 people will be the funnest with this game. And the object of the game is to be the last table standing without all your Vikings at the table becoming drunk. Or they can become drunk, but you got to have at least one still standing at the table. Now, the way this works, you have a blue die in the center of each of your tables that starts on 1. Now, as the game progresses, and you take drinks, this will go up. So when your table takes a drink, it goes up to 2, and then 3, and so on. When it hits 6, one of your Vikings will pass out drunk and falls over. He is out of the game, and the dice resets to 1. So that's one of the ways that the Vikings go out of the game. But let me go into a little bit more detail on that. If you have 4 players, you each take turns, but you roll the initiative on a 20-sided dice. Basically, whoever has the highest roll will go first, and so on down to the lowest roll. Pretty simple so far. So, when it is your table's turn, you have this black die. And the black die's got these different faces on it. It's got the barmaid, it's got a fist, it's got a Viking with an arrow, and it's got the drinking horn, and it's got a chair. And it's also got a skull goblet. Now, each of these play a major factor in the game. And these are different ways that your Viking can be thrown out of the game. So, for example, let's say, last laugh table. Here, these guys, it's their turn. They roll the dice. So they roll. And they get the barmaid. Now, this is probably the most strategic of the rolls you can get, because it allows you to serve a drink to one of the other tables. And what happens is when you serve a drink to one of the other tables, their dice goes up by 1, and it protects you the next round from being attacked by that table you just served. So by attack, what I mean is that if a fist or a chair is rolled by a table, they are allowed to either fight your table or throw a chair at it. So for example, let's say we roll around here to Seeninen beer, and they roll up a big chair. So they can choose to throw a chair at any of the other tables. So for example, they can throw a chair at Last Laugh Lager. So what happens then? You roll a blue die. If they roll a chair, they hit a Viking and knock him out. Or if a shield is rolled, it is blocked. Let me clarify that the defending table gets to roll this dice, not the table that decided to throw the chair. So, now, another way a Viking can go down is through the fist die. Now, the way this works is that, let's say, Leona Vodka, the black table, rolls up a big fist. Okay? That means you get to fight. So they can pick a table. They want to fight. So let's say they pick this table down here. We'll call that the Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde absinthe table. So they want to fight. That is what this red table in the middle is for. It's your battle fight arena. So the opposing players put a guy in the middle from each table. Each one rolls a red die. Now the red die's got 3 fists and 3 blanks. So what happens? Each side rolls. If they roll a blank, they miss, go back to their table. However, if a red die is rolled by either side, they knock out the opposing player. So let's say, for example, Leona Vodka rolls a fist against the absinthe player, and he's going to knock the absinthe player off. However, the absinthe player can also roll a fist, and they knock each other out. That can happen. Also, you can knock one out and the other one stays up. So let's say Leona knocks this guy out, and he's a victor. He jumps up and down. He decides to teabag him a little bit before he goes back, and he goes back to his table, and absinthe is knocked out, and you go to the next turn of whoever's table is next. So let's go back over our black die again. So you've got the drinking horn. If you roll it, your table takes a drink, and the dice goes up by 1. The Mead Hall girl, we explained that there. And here's the goblet girl. Now this is where a drinking game part really comes into play here. If this is rolled, all tables take a drink, and you got to say skull. And if you don't say skull, if one of the tables forgets to say that, they got to add another number to their die. So everybody takes a drink, rolls up their die by 1. Then if a table forgets to say skull with everybody else, they got to roll it up again by 1. Now, if you're actually playing with, whoops, hit the camera there. If you're actually playing with real liquor in this game and you're taking drinks, this is where you can get fucked up pretty bad. So be warned on that part of the game. So let's go back over some of our other dice here. Went over the chair. This is the one that one of your Vikings gets angry at you, and he decides to leave and go to another table. Basically, all that is you lose a player and another team gets one. So Last Laugh Beer gets pissed off. They roll this dice, get pissed off, and one of their Vikings go to another player. So basically, I think I just covered all of those die faces, I believe. So what happens, you do this for however many turns it takes. After you complete one round, you roll initiative each time. So all 4 players go, roll initiative. All 4 players go again, roll initiative, so on. You do this until all but one table is left. So everybody's getting drunk, and we have Leona Vodka up there as the winner. He's got 2 Vikings left, and Last Laugh says, no, you do not, because I stole this guy earlier, and you can just suck it. So anyway, Last Laugh Beer is the winner, or lager, I should say. And that's my review, and I'll come back with my final impressions. Thanks. So there, peeps, that is the game. Don't fall in the Mead Hall. So what do I think of? TJ, the mighty Viking of Finland, think of this game? Well, here's my impressions. I played this a couple times with a buddy of mine, a couple buddies, and we think it's pretty fun, especially if you like to get fucked up. Now, you don't have to drink to play the game, but here's my impressions of it. If you have some buddies over for Sunday to watch a football game, American football, I think this game is a great game to play before kickoff or during kickoff, whichever, because you can actually take a shot of whatever is your preferred drink, and for every time you have to take a drink at the game. Now, that being said, you can get fucked up before the game starts, probably the actual football game. So you might want to watch what you drink as you play the game if you're actually wanting to enjoy your Sunday afternoon. Without drinking, it's a fun game too. Beer and pretzel game. Just to drink casually and you play around and see who's the last man standing, things like that. But if you're a Cleveland Browns fan, like I am, you're going to probably want to drink so you don't have to watch the game on Sunday because the Browns suck. That being said, don't fall in the Mead Hall by Viking Nerds game. Fun little game. Play it in about 10, 15 minutes, maybe 20. Get it. Should be fairly cheap. And have a blast. Meanwhile, I'm going to crack open Last Laugh Beer and have me a blast. Ha ha ha, later nerds.